What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with an unboxing video. I received a bunch of really nice Hasbro Star Wars The Vintage Collection mint on card items back from grading. From grading with Collector Archive Services. And again, to kind of follow up on my last video, most of these were submitted in March 9th, I think is when I processed when I submitted the order to Collector Archive. The items arrived at the facility March 12th, and they arrived back at my house on November 12th. 13th, November 13th. Anyway, so I think most, if not all of these, are Big Bad Toy Store collector grade items. So I want to show a few of these. I'm leaving some of these, or actually all of these, in the poly bags because some of these I'm not keeping. A gentleman has picked up a lot of my reissues that I got graded. I just don't have any space, so I have to pick and choose which ones I'm going to keep. And I think the reissues have to go, unfortunately, as much as I'd like to keep them. But anyway, this is the Anakin Skywalker Peasant Disguise reissue, and this graded 90. It was a card of 90, blister 85, figured 95 for a 91.3 overall. So very nice. Kind of a goofy figure. I don't know. It's okay. But what we really need is like some of the other Anakins that are out there. You know, somebody mentioned that. I can't remember who it was now. It's probably Boss Bounty. But you know, there's another Anakin that we see throughout the movie that they still haven't put in the TVC, if memory serves. We got the Clone Wars. We've got this one. We've got the Mustafar Battle version, but there's one other one that they need to kind of get their act together and put out. But this is one I want to keep this one so bad, but I'm not going to keep it. This is the TIE Fighter palette on the Return of the Jedi card. I was really taking a close look at the paint apps on this one. This figure is awesome. It really is. I hadn't seen one of these up close yet. You know, a lot of these, you know, all of these Big Bad Toy Store exclusives, they arrive in like sealed boxes, and they're wrapped up in like a protective poly bag and all that. So I didn't even get to see them before I submitted them. But this character mold and design, this is awesome. I need to get this one in the original issue. But what an awesome item. But anyway, this one graded 90. Card got a 90, blister 85, figured 95. I don't know why all these got 85 blister scores, but I think they must have had some rub inside the Hasbro sealed shipper case. But that is awesome too. But again, I can't keep all of them, so the reissues have got to go. Unfortunately, this is the last of those reissues. I'm keeping the Battle Droid one. I really like that one, so I don't know if that's in this pile or not. I can't remember. But anyway, Queen Amidala. This is again as part of that reissue wave, another beautiful figure. The face print technology improvement. Look how beautiful that figure is. What an incredible improvement in her face sculpt. Look at that. That is gorgeous. And again, I apologize about the poly bags, but you know, I sold these as never been removed from polybag, so you know, it's still got the original statement of archive on there. So just to be fair to the new buyer, I'm going to leave them as such. But anyway, this one scored exactly the same, 90, 85, 90. Pretty harsh scores this time. Pretty harsh scores. I don't know why this got an 85, other than if it had like, you know, you can kind of see the light scratches. You see, I don't know if that's showing through. But almost all these had these light scratches. So it's, you know, I'm used to, with Big Bad Toy Store, getting 90s and 95s for the blister score. But these had some scratches that I think precluded it from getting a 90 plus or a 95 overall. But really nice ones, though. So those three are being sold. So I'm going to move those out of the way so we have some more room. Now, the other part of the TVC that I got back was the Boba Fett wave. So these are ones I'm keeping, but I did get these back. This is the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. This is the one without the chest sensor. I didn't know when I submitted it. I was like, it could be the chest sensor version, the corrected version, or it could be the original. But it is the original. CAS marks it as no chest dent. I have no idea why they do that. It should say no chest sensor. It's not a dent, it's a sensor. That's how AFA labels it. So I would, my advice to Collector Archive Services, which they probably will ignore, but I would recommend that they change this to say no chest sensor, not dent. It's not a dent. So anyway, so the newer corrected version has a little sensor there on the chest piece. But anyway, it's nice to have the original kind of error, quote unquote error version. And it scored a 90. 90 for the card. Blister got a 90 and figure got a 95. So that's a beautiful example there. I'm glad to have that one. This is the Mandalorian child, and this one I was really happy to get. It's kind of good. I don't know. When I look at it now in hand, it's kind of goofy with that little frog, but it's kind of an iconic. It's an iconic item. It's one I had to have in my collection. Unfortunately, it did get an 85 plus. The card got an 85, blistered 90, figure 95. So this one didn't get the blister score of 85. It got the card score, and it was enough damage, I guess, to drop it all the way down to an 85 plus. And I think it's because there's some edge wear right around here. I haven't taken it out of the poly bag yet, but that was really the only spot I noticed that was major. And we'll take it out, and I'll do a kind of a more thorough look at all of these at some point. But I wanted to get these filmed before I sent off the reissues to the correct owner. This one, I surprisingly like this one more now that I have it in hand. Yes, the photo of Leia, the Bespin escaped Leia. Yes, the photo is way too dark, but I was expecting to not like this one at all, but I actually really like it a lot. I'm glad I got it. So, Empire Strikes Back, Bespin Leia. That's really, really cool. I like that one. That one scored a 90 also. Card got a 90, blister 90, figure 95. But, I saw images of this, and I hadn't had one in hand yet. But now that I've got it in hand, while it's not the most exciting figure in the world, and the card back is a little dark for me, but it's still a great item and kind of a must-have for my collection of TVC. Next is the Zutton, and so he was also in that batch. I'm glad I got this one. A very cool figure. I've got the Power of the Jedi in a Zutton in a prototype format, but this one was a much-needed one for the line. And so here's the grading on that one. It got a card 90, blister 90, figure 95. So, very cool. And then the last one, as part of that wave, was this one. This is the Grief Car Guy. This is one I really like. I think that the face sculpt on him is fantastic. And Grief Car Guy, he doesn't get a lot of love. I feel like, his Black Series and even his TVC to a certain extent, in the retro collection, they always are peg warmers. You always see them at Target, but I really think that this figure is highly underrated. It's just a very, very nice sculpt, great card back. So happy to have that one. So again, that was part of the same wave. Grief card got a 95, blister 90, figure 90. So that's the last one as part of that wave. And here is the last reissue as part of that previous wave I just showed you. This is the Battle Droid. I'm keeping this one. I just like the way it looks. And I've got the Gaming Greats Heavy Battle Droid at CAS now, so it'll be kind of nice to have both of them. The original issue of this with the Darth Maul offer sticker is very inexpensive now, since this has gotten reissued. But I'm gonna get that one eventually, like an unpunched example. But I just like the way this one looks, and so I'm keeping it. And really nice. This one graded 90. Card got a 90, blister 90, figure 95. So that's the only reissue I'm going to keep in my collection for now, but I sold the rest of them. Okay, and then I've got a few others before we finish up the video. This was the Rogue One. This was kind of a one-off that Big Bad Toy Store, I guess these came in sealed cases by themselves because they were offering these in collector grade last year, and it finally did come in. So I just did a video on my Rogue One TVC collection. So this is one I was missing, but this is the Imperial Death Trooper. This is actually manufactured in Canada. It's if you look at the back of the card back, which I can't do now because of the certificate of authenticity from CAS. But if you look at the back of the card, it is actually manufactured in Canada, so that's kind of cool. And here is and they were correctly labeled it, Hasbro Canada. I know that this was in the U.S. market as well, but in terms of where it was manufactured, it was Hasbro Canada. So anyway, Imperial Death Trooper got a 90, blistered 90, figure 95. And so overall 90 for that one, but a really nice example there. So, and then I have a couple of Cara Dunes. One of them is not mine. I had two Cara Dunes, one for me and one for my buddy Aaron. And Aaron is my buddy who designed the intros, the comic intro as well as the regular intro for my channel. So I wanted to pay him back, and I said, send me your Cara Dune, and I will get it graded for you, and I'll ship it back to you, and I'll pay for it all. And so I'm paying him back a little bit for spending so much time making my awesome intros. So I submitted these on different days so we know whose was whose. Mine is a collector grade Big Bad Toy Store that I did not expect to actually get. and I'll go into that in a second. But here was Aaron's. Aaron sent this to me, and I submitted it as part of, I believe, the May batch. And here's the scoring on this one. He got a card 95, blister 85, figure 95 for an overall 90.8. So the blister had just enough scratches on it to hold it back from getting a 95 or a 90 plus, because he had card and figure scores of 95 on that. So really nice. So Aaron, I'm going to drop this in the mail to you today, so you can expect to have that soon. Now, the interesting thing about Cara Dune, everyone knows the story that she, had some kind of fiery tweets that were, I mean, I'm not going to say that they were wrong, but a lot of what she said was not incorrect. I'll leave it at that. But here's the Cara Dune. I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that she said about certain members, certain other communities, because I have a lot of friends in that community. But I do think a lot of what she talked about that's highly polarizing right now that I don't want to get into, but we all know what it is. And she brings up a lot of interesting points, provocative points, and she said enough to make the overlords angry, and so she got fired. There's rumors she's coming back. But anyway, I ordered this before all of that happened, back in whatever it was, April, May of this year. And I did not expect Big Bad Toy Store to actually fulfill the order. And lo and behold, about 2 or 3 months after all that happened, and we know that Hasbro was stopping the production of Cara Dune, however you pronounce her name, Big Bad Toy Store came through and they delivered. So this is mine. So I sent this in about 3 weeks after I sent in Aaron's. And this one got a 95 overall. So really nice. So Big Bad Toy Store came through. This is the only 95 in my batch, though, for all the Big Bad Toy Store collector grade items. But if you're going to get a 95, I'd rather it be either Boba Fett or this one. But overall 95 for this Cara Dune. So anyway, that's all I really had. These were all the graded TVC in this batch. I've got a few other mint on card items, and I'm waiting on one other really, really exciting item that I can't wait to show you. That will be here very soon. But if you like this kind of stuff and you're into graded items like this, this is the channel for you, and consider subscribing. And to all my existing subscribers, as well as my Patreon supporters, I really appreciate the channel support. Thanks again, and I will be back very soon.